Hello and welcome to Byjus Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Let's look into the first question. Kudumbashree, one of the largest women self-help networks in the world, seen in news, is associated with which of the following states? Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. The answer to this is Kerala. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to Kudumbashree program. Let us try and understand what is this concept of Kudumbashree. The Kerala government back in the year 1997 came up with one of the initiatives called as the Kudumbashree. What is the objective of Kudumbashree? One is to create a self-help groups where women come together. They ensure that they empower themselves, and at the same time as they empower themselves, there is economic prosperity as well. So this wanted to eliminate poverty from the state of Kerala. So it had twofold objectives. One is women empowerment, which indirectly means economic empowerment, and at the same time they wanted to ensure that poverty is completely eliminated from the state of Kerala. So the Kudumbashree is nothing but a self-help group where women come together, they empower themselves, and at the same time they also help in eradication of the poverty. So basically it is a community organization of neighborhood groups of women in Kerala, and they all come together. This is at the urban level, this is also at the rural level, so that they fight for their rights, they empower themselves, and ultimately the poverty is eliminated from the state. So women from these neighborhood groups work on range of issues. Let's say for example, health related issues, nutrition related issues, agriculture. Thereby they empower themselves. So this Kudumbashree program is not just about women empowerment, it is also about recognizing the basic rights of the women as well. Now this article goes on to say, President inaugurated the Silver Jubilee celebration of Kudumbashree, one of the largest women self-help networks in the world, and launched Unnati, an umbrella program to create opportunities for employment and self-employment among the youth belonging to SC and the ST community. So remember, this word Kudumbashree is taken from Malayalam and it stands for prosperity of the family. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following pairs. National Waterway, details of the waterway on the other side. National Waterway 16, Barak River. National Waterway 37, Gandak River. National Waterway 46, Indus River. National Waterway 100, Tapi River. How many pairs given above are correctly matched? The answer to this is all four pairs. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to River Gandak, Narayani River, which was declared as the National Waterway 37 from Baisalotan Barrage to Gandak, and Ganga River confluence at Hajipur, along with 111 national waterways in the country, which is why we have taken this practice question. So remember, we have River Gandak, which was declared as the national waterway, that is National Waterway 37. Some of the important national waterways include National Waterway 1, which is on Ganga Bhagirathi Hooghly River system, National Waterway 2, Brahmaputra River, National Waterway 16, Barak River, National Waterway 3, West Coast Canal, National Waterway 4, Krishna River, National Waterway 5, Dambra Paradio via Mangalagadi to Pankopal, National Waterway 8, Alappula Changansari Canal, which is in the state of Kerala. There are other important national waterways as well. This include National Waterway 10 on Amba River, National Waterway 40 on Gagra River, National Waterway 44 Ichamatti River, 52 Kali River, then we have 25 Chapora River, 37 Gandak River, 73 Narmada River, 94 Sone River, and Tapi River, which is National Waterway 100. What is the importance of this national waterway? When you consider the logistic sector in India, if you're transporting some of the goods via the roads or even via the railways, yes, we would be able to ensure that particular product reaches from the source to the destination. What if we also use the waterways as well? So it is far more efficient. We will also be able to move the products along the waterways as well. So the efficiency efficiency of moving the product increases, and at the same time the cost also decreases. The delay in moving the product from the source to the destination also decreases, but this also has some negative impact. What is this negative impact? As we move the cargo on the shipments, this also creates noise as well, and this noise levels when increased can also disturb the aquatic ecosystem. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Vikas mission? Under the mission, minor forest produce gathered by tribals will be processed in Vandan Kendras and marketed through Vandan producer enterprises. TriFed would be the nodal agency for implementing the scheme. It aims to transform villages with significant tribal populations into model village or others gram. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 1 and 2 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to Pradhana Mantri Janjatiya Vikas mission. So remember, the mission seeks to achieve livelihood driven tribal development in the next 5 years through formation of Vandan groups which have been organized into Vandan Kendras. The minor forest produce gathered by the tribals will be processed in all these Kendras and marketed through the Vandan producer enterprises. New Hutch bazaars, warehouses will also be developed in the next 5 years as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and TriFed would be the nodal agency for implementing the scheme. The products produced will be marketed through the Tribe India source. These are some of the objectives of the mission. But when you consider the third statement, it is not part of Janjatiya Vikas Yojana, but instead it is part of Pradhana Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. So the Pradhana Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana basically supplements the state government for the development of the welfare of the tribal people, and it aims to transform villages with significant tribal populations into the model villages. So it is not Janjatiya Vikas Mission, but instead it is Pradhana Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. So basically, under this particular program, it wants to achieve socio-economic development of select villages. They also prepare village developmental program as well, maximize the coverage of individual or family benefits under the central and the state government schemes for the tribal sector, and improve the infrastructure at the rural level in terms of health, education, connectivity, livelihood, so on and so forth. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements with respect to Tiwa tribes. Sokra Misava is a springtime festival of the Tiwas where they worship the deities of nature. They are recognized as a scheduled tribe within the state of Tripura. Which of the statements given above are correct? The answer to this is one only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in the Hindu article. This article says Tiwa tribal boys performing rituals wearing headgears. These headgears are called as Sakrashata during the Sokro Misava festival, which is in Arbik Anglong district of Assam. Tiwas worship nature during the springtime festival and they prepare the fields for the next crop. So basically, the Sokro Misava festival is one of the festival that is celebrated by the Tiwa tribes. So the Tiwa tribes are Tibeto-Burmese ethnic groups and they are a scheduled tribe in the state of Assam and not in the state of Tripura. Are they recognized as the scheduled tribe in the state of Meghalaya? Yes or no is what you have to put on the comment section. When it comes to the Tiwa tribes, what we have is two kinds of tribes. One are the people who live in the hill Tiwa, the other are the people who live in the plain Tiwas. They have different types of cultures as well. And do note, these people also practice shifting cultivation as well, and at the same time they have different kinds of festival. One such festival that we have is Vanchua. What are the other types of festival that they celebrate is what you have to put on the comment section. Now let's look into the next practice question. Where was the first session of the Indian National Congress held in December 1885? Ahmedabad, Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi. The answer to this is Bombay. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2008. So remember, the Indian National Congress was formed on 28th of December 1885. It held its first session in Bombay and its first session was held under the presidency of W.C. Banerjee. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is AFINDEX. What is this AFINDEX? This happens to be Africa India exercise. First, we will discuss about the AFINDEX. Then we will also discuss that India is set to hold the first ever India Africa Army Chiefs Conclave. The first question that arises is, what is this AFINDEX? AFINDEX, the basic aim of this exercise is to hone the skills of the participating defense forces in planning and conduct of the humanitarian mine assistance, peacekeeping operations under Chapter 7 of the UN Peacekeeping Operations Charter. If we look into the background, let's go back to the year 2019. In the year 2019, the first edition of AFINDEX was conducted. The inaugural edition was held at Foreign Training Node of the Indian Army, which is located at Onth Military Station in Pune in the year 2019. As part of this initiative, multiple countries did participate as well. Let's say we have Benin, Botswana, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, and all these countries participated along with the Indian Army, and the Indian Army was represented by the Maratha Light Infantry contingent. So remember, this was the exercise which started in the year 2019. This can also be asked in your preliminary examination. The exercise will focus on exchange of best practices between the participating nations, team building and tactical level operations in conduct of UN mandated tasks. The UN mandated tasks include establishment of new missions for the UN peacekeeping forces, protection of the civilians, nuances of the standing combat deployment, convoy protection, patrolling aspects, and aspects related to humanitarian mine assistance. If we have to speak about the significance of it, India, as we all know, has engaged in number of peacekeeping operations. So what is India trying to do? India is trying to help the African countries. There are a number of conflict regions in Africa. There are extremist organizations as well. India, by its experience, is helping the African countries. So on one side, it wants to ensure that peacekeeping prevails in the continent of Africa, and at the same time, India is also sharing its own experience with all these African countries. So what is the significance? India's relationship with African countries will increase manifold on one side, and it is also able to take on the influence of China in the African continent. So this is the significant aspect of this AFINDEX. Then what we have is a new initiative called as the India Africa Army Chiefs Conclave. This happens to be a 9-day military exercise, and this is furthering India's outreach to African nations amid China's growing influence in the continent. So whereby African country and its military will come together and they will discuss about some of the important issues. What they will have is coordination. They will exchange some of the exercises details as well, and at the same time, India is also looking at Africa to boost its exports of defense products. India is primarily conducting this conclave basically to ensure that India's influence is felt in Africa. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this topic. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.